Yes, indeedy, folks. It's the Beer Drinker's Guide to the Great Wahoo. Let's get into old McDonald's overalls and play E-I-E-I-O. It's East Idaho. East Idaho. Wow. It's not a very long drive, folks, and there are some mighty interesting things to check out over on the great eastern side of Idaho. During the end of September and 1st of October, my good friend Harold Moss and I had occasion to go exploring around eastern Idaho. On our first journey of EIEIO, we went exploring Rexburg, the Teton Flood Museum, and the ruined Teton Dam. We then drove Highway 33 over to 32 and up 32 to just before Marysville. This is beautiful, beautiful country driving along the west side of the Teton Mountains. Gorgeous farm country. We ended our drive at this spot, where the road, Highway 47, begins to enter the mountains and dips down into the Henry's Fork of the Snake River. Our goal today is to make it up to the beautiful Upper and Lower Mesa Falls. I have heard about these falls on the Henry's Fork of the Snake River for many, many years. I know Cecil Andrus loved this country, this Henry's Fork country, and I had always been curious to check it out. The Henry's Fork of the Snake River does cover a lot of amazing country. Big open meadows, steep mountains, some magnificent falls. It isn't long once you get on Highway 47 that you begin to appreciate this stunning country. As we were approaching the top of the grade, we found a little turnout right after this corner in the road. The little turnout looks over the Warm River of the Teton Mountain Range. Warm River is a tributary of the Henry's Fork and adjoins Henry's Fork some 7 miles north and east of Ashton. From this viewpoint, not only is the valley beautiful, what backdrops it is as well. This is looking further up the road from where we came, looking north. It's an easy walk into the woods across the highway. I took the occasion to water some trees, and while I was there, I was simply taken away by how beautiful the forests are. Looking back across the road to the little turnout, and I couldn't resist one final view from this absolutely glorious spot. A little further up Highway 47, we found another turnout. From this spot, looking back from whence we came to the south, I found this sign. Looking to the north, I found this sign. Apparently, Highway 47 simply ends. I don't know if it's the end of the county or whatever, but from here on, the road exists. It's just not Highway 47. Looking north from where Highway 47 ends, we can see that the road is still counted out in miles, and it's easy enough to see the road having been built up along the cliff. Three miles further up the road, we pull into the parking lot for Lower Mesa Falls, and we find this lovely little path along this beautiful wooden fence. The pathway leads to a nice little viewing area with a substantial rock wall around it. I was really quite happy for the rock wall. It is a pretty steep drop-off, which of course makes for a good viewing area. Here we are looking south into the Henry's Fork. This is the canyon looking north. On the walk out to the viewing area, we get our first view of the Lower Mesa Falls. There is an information reader board at this observation point where we learn that this is bear country, and they politely tell us to avoid confrontation. Right next to this reader board is a convenient little park bench. I don't confront bears enough to know what they do in the woods, but here we have a bear that seems to have been thoughtful enough to remind us that when they put up a sign about bears, they mean it. I take it this is bear scat. I'm not enough of a woodsman to know for sure. As we get back on Highway 47, we continue to go through these beautiful woods. It was late September, and indeed, we were enjoying autumn in the mountains. The Great Squeeze.
Well, folks, let's look at some domestic products miserliness, shall we? It's not that I believe in being terribly miserly, and it's not that I believe in being to where you're just constantly looking for some way to save a dime or a nickel. But I must admit, I don't like being wasteful. We live in a world where things are consumed, and I don't like being wasteful. And I also don't mind saving a nickel or a dime if I can. So I've invented a way to get at those pesky little tubes that things come in. Now me, does it look like I like to squeeze from the bottom? I don't think so. Who wants to hassle themselves with that? I want to just pick it up and squeeze it like a man, if you know what I mean. Or I suppose a woman, for that matter. Anyway, once I end up with something like this and thinking, oh my, look at all those bubbles of stuff in there, I finally figured out a way, a nice simple way, to just squeeze it on out of there. So let's go over to the workbench and check it out, shall we? It's right down this way. Oh, that's right. It's called my kitchen counter. And the secret to this wonderful process is, that's right, folks, Mom's rolling pin. You just put her right on there and you get the job done. I like it. Just like that. If you really want to get persnickety, you can go make sure it works on both sides. Then, if you really want to make sure that it stays that way, you just fold it up a little bit, keep it from squeezing back, and I have found these binder clips absolutely precious. They're great for sealing bags up in the kitchen, and they're great for keeping tubes from unrolling. The magic of this system, of course, it works on all different kinds of things that need to be squeezed up. This one, it's kind of spongy. It might bounce back, but so what? And this one is made out of metal. Once it's squeezed, it'll stay squeezed. It even likes to curl. You artists that use paints, there you go. Way to get more of that ochre out. So folks, that's my secret. Now, if you want, you can use your own rolling pin, of course, but you could get an order from me, including a clip and a rolling pin, for only 7 payments of $100 each. Stay tuned at the end of the show and send me a letter at my email box, will ya?
That's right, folks. Just like your trusty beer drinker guide said, you too can get your very own Great Squeeze official rolling pin. And yes, your official Great Squeeze binder clip. Both the rolling pin and the binder clip for only 7 payments of $100 each. An amazing value. Remember, folks, these are the official Great Squeeze binding clip and rolling pin, both. But wait, there's even more. Act now, and we'll include an extra clip. It's free. What a phenomenal value. But wait, there's more. Act now, and we'll send, yes, an extra rolling pin. Free. Can you believe it? That's right. Order now, and you get both an extra clip and an extra rolling pin. Absolutely free. Think of it, smart shoppers. A $7.25 value, absolutely free. But you must order now. This amazing value won't last long, folks. So order now. That's right. You get 2 rolling pins, 2, and 2 clips, 2. This amazing offer won't last long, so order now to get your amazing low price of only 7 payments of $100 each for this phenomenal value. But wait, there's even more. Order now, and your beer drinking guide has authorized us to sell this phenomenal value for not 7 payments, but an amazing only 6 payments. That is a phenomenal value. To get this amazing offer, have your credit card ready. We'll be telling you soon how to order. Remember, this amazing offer, only 6 payments of $100 each, plus unspecified shipping and handling. Your satisfaction is guaranteed. Not responsible for anything, including results for any use other than flattening paste tubes, including but not limited to kinky pleasures, settling domestic disputes, chasing the cat, hanging curtains, making pies, or opening locked cars by smashing windows. Limited satisfaction guarantee to 2 minutes from time of shipping. Satisfaction guarantee limited to replacement of original pin or clip only. If you have high blood pressure or a temperamental spouse, consult your doctor before using. Intended for flattening paste tubes only. Remember, you must act now in order to take advantage of this great offer. Act now. Have your credit card ready and dial 1-800-YOU-MUST-BE-STUPID. That's right, folks. 1-800-YOU-MUST-BE-STUPID. But remember, folks, you must act now to take advantage of this amazing value. And now? Wow! I didn't know that. Today's wow, I didn't know that, takes us to the lovely and tiny island of Barbados. Located on the far eastern end of the Caribbean Sea. This easternmost island, of all the islands that make up the eastern edge of the Caribbean Sea, has a square mileage area of 166. 166 square miles is 15% of the size of our smallest state, Rhode Island. Apparently, the natives on this island were fairly hairy. When the Portuguese first discovered this island, they named it the Bearded Ones. This beautiful island of white sandy beaches always remains in the top 75% of the Human Development Index. The Human Development Index is a worldwide index that measures life expectancy, literacy, educational attainment, and gross domestic product per capita for all nations in the world. In 2006, Barbados found itself where it typically is in the Human Development Index. Its ranking in the Western Hemisphere was 3rd behind only the US and Canada. Barbados also has jungles that so far have not been turned into farmland. It is in these jungles that evolutionary biologist Blair Hedges of Penn State University discovered the globe's smallest species of snake. He announced his discovery on Sunday, August 3rd, 2008. Named the Barbados thread snake, this snake is the width of a piece of spaghetti. It is less than 4 inches long. As you can see, it rests quite comfortably on a quarter. Hedges has done a lot of tromping around in the forests of these islands. So far in his career, he has discovered more than 65 new species, including the smallest frogs and other species. One interesting note that Hedges points out about super small species is the relative size of their newborns to the size of the adults. This illustration from his lab shows that a large adult snake has a very, very small hatchling compared to its body size. Larger snakes will have many, many eggs at one time. By comparison, these extremely small species of animals, be it snakes or frogs or whatever, have one egg. Compared to the size of the adult, it is gargantuan, practically half the size of the adult, if not more. I cannot imagine having a child that is half my size. Well, to tell you the truth, I can't imagine having an 8-pound baby, much less one half my size. The fact that these super small animals have one hatchling that is so large seems to indicate that there is a certain point at which the smallness cannot be stretched and still ensure survival. These species, like so many, are being lost to development and intrusions into their habitat. As Hedges points out, how can we protect them if we don't even know they're there? For this, wow, I didn't know that, I'd like to give a little heads up to Blair Hedges and his work with Penn State. You know, folks, while I was doing the EIEIO segment, I did realize that I really don't know how to tell bear scat. I'm not the world's greatest outdoorsman. I discovered a long time ago that hotel beds are much more comfortable than sleeping in a tent. But my goodness, how can you live in Idaho and not leave yourself free to get out and enjoy this amazing country? I've also heard that the number of bears in the woods is beginning to increase. You'd have to be pretty brain dead not to have heard of the different kinds of bears, of course. There is the brown bear, which I understand is fairly friendly. And our woods also have grizzly bears, which I think are usually pretty friendly too. And certainly you don't want to confront any bear when it has its cubs around. But grizzly bears just have a little bit of a more, shall we say, ornery reputation. So, for my own safety, and just so that I would learn something, I went and I sought out one of my friends who is a great mountaineer and asked him about bears and how to tell them and what to do to be safe and things like that. He pointed out that the brown bear really, well, for one thing, it's brown. It's smaller, it is much more docile, it is more abundant, and it's usually the bear that you see when you're roaming around in the woods of Idaho. He pointed out that grizzly bears are much larger. They are great big bears. They're darker colored, and they have a large hump just above their shoulders. He agreed they're awfully powerful. If you get swatted with a grizzly bear, you'll probably just lose a chunk of whatever it is that they happen to swat. Well, I asked my friend, what can you do when you're out walking in the woods to make it a little safer for yourself and to make it so that, you're less likely to be bothered by bears in the first place? He pointed out that bears are like most wildlife. They really don't want to get any closer to us than we want to get closer to them. He said that a lot of people, taking advantage of this, choose to wear bells or other things that make noise while they're hiking in the woods. When I asked my friend what you can do when you do start being in a confrontational situation with bears, he said, well, some people carry pepper spray. It might gain you a little bit of time to get away. You don't want to plan on it stopping a bear, but it might be not a bad idea to have some pepper spray when you're in the woods. After all this learning, I told him why I had asked, having come across this scat and wondering if it was bear scat. He said, well, it sure looks like brown bear scat to him. So I said to him, oh, really, that's brown bear scat. Well, how can you tell the difference between that and grizzly bear scat? Would grizzly bear scat typically be larger since they're larger? He agreed, yes, that's a good way to tell. However, he said, if you really want to know if it's grizzly bear scat instead of brown bear scat, just look closely and see if it's filled with bells and empty cans of pepper spray. And that's another beer drinker's guide to the Great Wahoo. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you next week. And in the meantime, keep celebrating the Great Wahoo.